Sadly, a lot of couples today think it's enough to just say, I'm sorry. They just say to their spouse, I'm sorry. And what happens? On the receiving end, their spouse feels they don't really mean it. So what's a true apology? It's way beyond just saying, I'm sorry. And I've got a process called AIR. The first A stands for admission of guilt. A true apology involves owning your mistake, acknowledging what you've done, saying to your spouse, this is what I did. The I stands for impact. This is where you acknowledge the impact it has on your spouse. You see, very often what takes place in marriages is the other person will say, I forgive you, but deep inside they're wondering, I don't think he really knows how much he's hurt me. So when you acknowledge the impact of what you did on the other person, it's so, so powerful. This is where you say, I know it left you feeling insecure in our marriage. I know it put you out because my poor planning has resulted in chaos for you. I know you feel taken for granted as a result of the foolish decision that I made. I know trust is broken as a result of the decisions that I've been making lately. All right? So that's acknowledgement of the impact on the other person. You can even ask them that as a question, not to assume, but you ask them and you say, how has this affected you? I know it's affected you in the following ways. How else has it affected you? And then the first R is remorse, expression of remorse. This is where you say, I regret what I've done. If I'm given the opportunity to do it again, I will definitely say no because I know how it's hurt you. That's your expression of remorse. I wish I'd never done that. I don't know what I was thinking. You express emotional pain as a result of what you had done. The second R is restitution. And restitution is where you're saying, this is what I'm going to do to make up for it. Maybe you're in a situation where there's been infidelity. And then you say, you know what, whenever I interact with someone of the opposite sex, you will know about it. I will update you. I'll inform you. I've got nothing to hide. You've got access to all my passwords, all my computers, all my gadgets. You've got access to them. We're going to be transparent from now onwards. That's an example of restitution. Restitution must line up and bring healing to what you've done. For example, if you've been traveling a lot, an example of restitution is, honey, I know I've been away for the last 2 weeks and we've been like two ships passing each other by. But to make up for it, I've booked us a trip away for just 2 nights, just the two of us, no kids. You're making up for it. That's restitution. You're doing something you would ordinarily not have done. And then you've got reconciliation. And reconciliation is so powerful. This is where you ask for forgiveness. You cannot demand forgiveness. You cannot say, listen, you just need to let go. All right? You just need to forgive. Forgiveness is important in marriage, and start lecturing them on forgiveness. No, you're the one who's wronged them. So you say, can you find it in your heart to forgive me? You can take your time about it. I know it's a process. Can you find it in your heart to forgive me? And then the last R is a request. Very often there's a request. A request could be, hey, please pray for me. This is an area of weakness in my life. Another request could be, you know what? Can we keep touching base and talking about this particular issue so that I see where you're at? And if you're in a place where you're completely healed from this, let's talk about it. That's AIR, the apology conversation.